source for hackerspaces. They have a 501c3 umbrella that all hackerspaces can use, and they have a monthly phone call that you can probably get on if you want, where any hackerspace can call in and talk about stuff that's
Okay. Okay, wait. That sounds really cool. Wait, okay, can you tell me about this? And also, can you speak up because of this? Use it. So I can capture it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay, you're good.
So you want me to start over?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so hackerspace.net is a good online resource, and they have a section for like hackerspace management and the hackerspace design patterns. So like there's a couple different models, like depending on how many people have been involved in the founding, and then like how long it takes them to transition out and what to do about that, like the succession or whatever. And then there's the School Factory, and I think their main organization is the Space Federation for Hackerspaces, and they want to help with 501c3 status and insurance and like funding stuff. They might try to get some grant opportunities for hackerspaces.
Cool. Actually, that was an idea, possibly, for maybe the direction this project would go, is that it would, because I keep hearing, funding is, an issue, but maybe like that, there's a way to like help facilitate that, but apparently that exists already.
Yeah, but there's always a way to improve on it, I think. And I would be interested in the collaboration issue, because the hackerspace is supposed to be a place to learn informally, but as far as I've seen, most of them encourage, or they kind of are just set up for people to do individual projects. I think Hive is a good example of this. Like, you pay your membership, you go, you do your own thing. They don't have as many opportunities to learn from each other. And I don't know, I've personally felt like that's not been on the minds of people there. Like,
You mean collaborating on projects?
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think that is true.
So it's something that I've been focusing on at the Hack Group. And I'm not saying that everyone at Hive is like that, but they kind of have the mentality, like, if you go there and you are like, can somebody help me with this? It's not like they would want to help you.
Right, that's not what it's about, right? It's more of like, right, that's something they even said. That if you want something like that, you go to like NextFab or something like that. Like, and they help you make the thing.
Right.
Right. And that was the contrast they were
So then collaboration in that context, I'm not sure what that means to me,
Well, I don't know if they call themselves collaborative space. I don't know. I'm calling, right, but that's interesting. Right.
Yeah, and what I've heard a lot of people say to me is they like the opportunity to work on projects together, so that's what I've been trying to make happen at the Hackery as kind of like a counterpoint to that individual work practice, whatever. The other thing, though, is, there's a lot of different ways you could look at this, like this whole movement. You could look at how it might impact the education system, because a lot of parents have been looking to hackerspaces to provide education that their kids aren't getting in public school, or to supplement homeschool learning.
That's interesting. Yeah, right. And that's actually... Yeah, one of the main angles I came at this, that it's like a new way of learning. That was kind of like the umbrella initially I came into this with, but I didn't want to have any preconceived ideas, because that's what... But you're giving me a lot of ideas.
Yeah, well, the thing is also, being in this community, I've been involved in the Hackery for like 4 years, and it's still hard to explain to people what a hackerspace is. Like, if you know, then you know what it is, and you're interested most of the time, but if you don't know, it's like so foreign to you.
Yes, I've had that issue already, because people are asking me, what is this project about?
Yeah.
I'm like, hackerspaces, duh.
Yeah, a lot of people still don't know what it is.
And a lot of people... Right, and a lot of people say, "Oh, is that a bunch of like people who are computer hackers, like
right,
sitting
they're
around?"
Steal my bank account number.
Right, that's like a huge.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting point of view too.
So you might also want to talk to Bernie, who was at the library meeting. I don't know if you got to talk to him there, but he is
older guy.
He's friends with Mitch, not the one with the beard, but he is usually the one who hosts Mitch when he comes here from San Francisco, and they've been friends for a long time. And Bernie helps organize a big hacker conference in New York. He's actually sent to jail for a hacker crime. And he has a weekly radio show where they mostly talk about political stuff, but they started that when he was in prison.
Great. That's awesome. That would be a great person to talk to. Yeah. Yeah, actually, Mitch, when I called him, and he was heading to Paris. This was like a week ago, and he was literally running in San Francisco and getting on a train to go to the airport as I was talking to him. And I basically said we could Skype, but he's going to be there for 3 months. So basically, he's going to be in Europe for 3 months. So basically, like, that's what my project is going to be. I mean, you know, at least I'm going to have some kind of presentation or deliverable. That doesn't mean it's going to end that. I mean, maybe this is an opening to a bigger thing. And in fact, just to can you like back up a little bit and just tell me like what's your name? Like that's the way I start these interviews. I say, what's your name? Tell me what your name is. What are you interested in? What do you do? What do you do? Yeah, just so I have that basic information.
So my name is Georgia Guthrie. I'm the director at the Hactory. I have been since 2009, and I'm interested in learning about technology for myself. And empowering others who feel like they're not technical people to kind of have ownership over that and feel like they can use it for their own benefit. Yeah.
Okay, now we can go back.
Okay.
Cut. No. What were we talking? Mitch running to Paris. Yeah, he said he would Skype with me. Whatever. You know.
So if you wanted to talk about this at their conference, I think he's helping organize the whole conference, so that's...
You mean Mitch's friend?
Mitch is also, he's a main organizer.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure, he has been in the past. So that's an option for you also. No matter what, you should go, because it's a crazy experience.
When is this?
It's in July.
Okay, sure. I should speak at it, is what you're saying?
Yeah. They're looking for people to speak now, I think. My friend Farr was asking me if I wanted to talk about something. I was like, yeah, sure. Not sure what I would say exactly, but I'm sure I can think of something.
Yeah, that'd be great, because this is what I'm going to be focusing on until, June.
So another area that might be of interest to you, I think the idea of like having a blue sky meeting with hacker space people might be a good thing, because a lot of times I don't think they think that way. I think I do at the hacker, and I'm not sure if other people do. So that might be really cool.
Cool.
Another thing though might be figuring out kind of a language translate between artists and hackers, because hackers or like science techie types always say that they want to get involved with art, but as far as I know, they don't really have any kind of foundational knowledge to talk about art or say like what they want to do.
This is really interesting. I love that you just said that, because Brendan? No. Big guy. Brendan. I should not have said that. I'm going to edit that out. No. Brendan, yeah, he actually said something sort of like what you're saying, but sort of like from a totally different perspective. He said that they're in this industrial building, right? And the whole building is artists. And basically he said the artists don't consider them artists. And he sort of takes offense to that. Because he says, no, we are artists. Right? So it's kind of interesting, that argument. Okay, now maybe this is the crux of my project, because I'm coming into MID saying that there is a very fine line, and it's very, very fine, between artists and designers. And so and actually Jonas and I kind of are on totally separate sides of the issue. And actually talking to his wife, it's kind of interesting, because I didn't realize his wife is an artist. So this is possibly why he's has that kind of perspective on it. I don't know if he's always been that way, but... And part of what I'm writing in my graduate seminar class is about doing a lot of writing about trying to say, they're not different things, basically. And, people constantly questioning and saying no, they are different. And because personally, I come from a background where I've always done both. So when I come at a project, I don't come at it from a different perspective. So I don't think I say I'm an artist / designer, but like for me, like in my mind, I don't believe that they're actually separate. But that might be a totally separate outside issue, but it's kind of interesting. You're saying like, yeah, a lot of these people are techie and they're not doing art, and I could from a traditional art background, and that's interesting. Like maybe some way of educating them or trying to help them.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be useful if you came to one of our build sessions for the PAPA installation. So PAPA invited us to do an interactive installation. You have to look at this.
Yeah, and Catherine mentioned it, and so did Hive, actually.
Yeah, so it's been really fun. It's been a great way to engage both like Hive and Factory, and then other outside people have gotten involved because they were interested. But we had our first build session in late January, and Catherine was there, and I was so glad she was there because people like we're saying we want to comment on the work of this artist, Henry Sawatana, who uses light in an interesting way. But I personally was getting frustrated because I felt like a lot of people there wanted to do something that was really literal. Like, he has a tent in his painting, so let's have a tent in the exhibition. So I was like, we can take it like to the next step or like 2 more steps, you know? And Catherine was really helpful in framing that and helping, like, encouraging people to think farther.
Right.
And I could just tell that they were really into it, but they had they just hadn't spent time thinking about creating something of that nature. So that's what I thought. Or like talking about an abstract quality or like emotions that you're making people feel in the space. Like, a lot of those people I've never thought about that. So that was cool. But I could see, and also actually on Monday I met with this professor from Penn, Yasmin Kafai, and she got in touch with me because she wants to create these e-crafting circles and do some research with like schools, but also external groups like the Factory, do some research and workshops with them and try and think of some collaborative projects to do to engage women and other like non-traditional tech people. But she was talking about this issue too, developing a language for technical people to talk about art, like the qualities of art, of this type of art, multimedia, whatever it is, because they don't have that vocabulary or understanding of it.
Yeah, I think that's like a good. That's so interesting to say that because like some people, I think people who are multimedia artists or designers don't even really know if they're artists or designers. And that's part of why I think I don't know for myself, or I think I know but I don't know kind of thing. Because you're coming at it with this interest in creating something new and cutting edge, but the question is like, are you a designer or are you an artist or are you both? And I think like that's what's interesting about the multimedia program at UArts and confusing for a lot of people, including people in ID, is they.
Well, I think that program in particular is probably. I mean, you have classes on both sides.
Yeah, but that's why it's confusing because it's one department, but it's like they let you decide what you want to do, which I loved about that. About that program. So. But they teach you in both ways. Also, and then there's the third way of looking at it from science or data analysis and theory, which maybe those are two other ways. But Jeremy comes at it from that direction, right? Where he's more interested in the theory of the web and the theory of making meaning and data and knowledge and what do those mean really, and more heady stuff.
Yeah.
So that's more of a writer or researcher perspective sort of on it, and then there's the doers, and then there's the people that are doing it but they're just doing it for money, or there's the people that are they're artists and they're just doing it for the art but they happen to use the technology, and it's kind of I don't like putting myself in one of those categories or like putting people in those categories.
Do you think designers are the ones that are just doing it for money though?
No. I think there's when I say that, I mean people who are doing an installation, for example, purely for some corporate end, right? And you can say they're multimedia designers or artists, but like the video panel installation at the Comcast building. That's what I was thinking. I'm not saying designers are doing that for money. No. That's not what I was saying. No, I think that no, but I think at the same time, like, designers are never just doing it for the money, and I don't think artists are ever just doing it for the money either. I don't think they're ever just doing it for the money. But what I'm saying is, like, people who are purely maybe engineers or people who are just we want this thing and let's make it happen, and it doesn't really, as long as it's slick or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know about that. Well, yeah. It seems like you have to figure that out. But for this project, you might be interested in something that I've been working on with I have the Next Fab and the Sculpture Gym. It's actually the meeting that I'm going to after this. We want to make a kit for all of these spaces. So you have one kit. You assemble part of the kit in each space. And then by the end of it, you have this cool thing that's made, and you've been able to check out all the spaces and see, and you had something to do while you were there, right? You didn't just go to open house or go to whatever and just like look around and twiddle your thumbs. There's something to do. And we also wanted it to be where you could collaborate with other people who had other finished kits, so they interact somehow, that they don't just on their own. And we asked this kinetic sculptor, Brad Litwin, to help us design it. So we're going now, he has a proposal, we're going to talk about it. We're trying to launch it by the summer.
Okay. That's cool. When you say assemble in each space, do you mean that it's the same kit in each space?
Or you buy the kit.
Yeah.
You do the same activity in each space. I mean, there might be some room to modify it a little bit, but it's really a way for people to get in the door and have something to do while they're there. They feel like they're doing something. And then at the end, they built something. And it's going to be kind of technical, like a little bit advanced. So
that's
then,
cool. What,
yeah.
like something with an Arduino or something?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's another whole possible direction that this project could go. Is that it's not about, possible ideas for the projects that are like a book about how to start a hackerspace, or a history of hacker or collaborative spaces, which could go like way far back. Or I was thinking another idea is to do something where it's like a collaborative, like a contest, like a juried art show or design show, where this way, kind of like coming at this like, I want to like unify somehow these hacker spaces, but then the question Jeremy asks is, do they want to be unified? Why would they want to be unified? But then the other possible way of coming at this is like, maybe I'm designing a thing, like what you guys are doing, and it's a thing. That's a solution, and that's cool too. That's a whole other way.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Mitch told you, but they have started a Hackerspace Passport.
Passport?
Yeah. So it's just a way for you to track like people like him that like to visit them. And you can go. We don't have a stamp yet, but we should get one, because they're in his hackerspace. I think they're distributing it, and they had it there last year.
That's cool.
But it's a way to somehow unite hackerspaces. And then we talked about doing that just for Philly and maybe getting like a prize if you get a certain number of stamps or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But for the language thing, we might also be interested in doing something like that too. But like talking to the Maker Faire people, because they give out a lot of awards, but it's not clear to me what their criteria are. It kind of seems like if it's flashy, you get an award. And when I went for the first time to the New York one last year, and I wasn't impressed with a lot of stuff. They have a lot of like maker bots sitting on tables. There really wasn't that much. Like the Tesla coils were cool because they were big. But it would be cool if there was a way to get people talking about stuff that was like really fun and exciting. It kind of takes this learning to the next level, not just like here, solder this kit, here, make a blinky bracelet, or
right. That's what I'm thinking. And yeah, and if it could be something like that, you know, it could be not just local, but Jeremy wants me to keep it local for right now. I mean, initially for this project because it's just too big, I guess. I mean, well, I keep being tempted, you know, to want to go international with this project. You know, somehow.
Well, the thing is, there's potentially a lot of spaces you could, if you took a wider lens and started just looking at like DIY places where you can go and do something. And there's a lot of those in Florida. There's Philly Cannon where you can use the video equipment. There's a printmaking studio. There's the tool library. I'm sure there's a bunch of other art studios that I don't know about.
Right.
And then there's the hacker places. There's the co-working spaces. There's a lot.
Yeah, so that might get too messy. But I think that idea of like, you know, that you're right, like, yeah, there's an award and there's a bunch of maker bots is totally the opposite of the way that I was taught, you know, by Catherine and by Jeremy at UArts. It's like, it's not about that at all. You know what I mean? It's about like, and I don't know. I mean, I thought it would be nice to, you know, for bragging rights at least, you know, to say like, oh, Hive won, you know, the best, you know, I don't know, like robot award, and you guys won the best, you know, like light sculpture. I don't know, or whatever. You know, or if it's individual, if it could be a collaborative effort, or it could be individuals, you know, from these spaces, or not. I don't know.
Well, you might also look as an example. They had these Geek Awards last year for the first time.
I heard about that, yeah.
I didn't even know about it.
I read Wired, so I heard about that.
Apparently it was organized by Geekadelphia.
Right. Okay.
Which I thought was cool, but then I was like, so, like, nobody even invited us. Okay. I don't think they invited Hive either. I was like, well, I guess we're not on their radar, really?
Well, see,
but then, like, I don't know what their criteria was. It seemed like they just wanted some attention outside of the tech week.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you see, I mean, this is really great. This interview is, like, exactly what I've been looking for as far as ideas. But, like, is there anything that you think is, I'm asking this of everyone, like, it's missing or that could be improved upon or that, you know, is in the hackery specifically, like because you're the director, I guess I could ask you more questions like this, like, is your plan to expand? Is your plan to stay the same? Is funding coming from people who are regular members? Or is it coming from the grants, or how does it?
We don't really have any funding right now. In the past, it's come from classes.
So it's entirely classes.
I applied for a couple grants. We didn't get it. We did qualify for the Knight Foundation, but we won't know if we get that for a while. And I've applied for some other grants. Nothing. Well, no, we have gotten some grant, at least one other large grant in the past. But I would like to have more. I would like to grow. I would like to. What I think is missing is a way for people who, like I said, people who don't consider themselves as like technical to get involved. And what I've come to see is they need real little examples before they get inspired. Like a lot of people who are already inspired will seek us out, and that's great. We want more of that, but we need to like spark that in a lot of people. So the problem is we could be like, come to our intro to Arduino class, and people are like, what's that? What can I do with that? And we're like, you can do anything. Well, that doesn't help.
Right.
So there needs to be a way, like there's a ton of resources on the web, obviously, but you have to know what you're looking for. So it's like a way to start people's interest. That's what I'm hoping this maker kit could do. You could be like, it's a fun thing to do on a couple of Saturdays. If you want to build something with your hands. Or like our printer spash has been that way. It's a really easy event for people to just get involved in. And then they can be like, oh, I might be interested in other things that this organization has to offer. But there needs to be more easy ways for people to plug in like that and feel welcome. I think that's two different things, like easy first step, and then feeling welcome once they're there.
And then who are these people? Because this is like, I was assuming that I would find a range, but it's looking like that's sort of the case. But what is the age range? Or do you have children's workshops? Is it people like our age, like 20 to 40, or is it younger?
They're usually not like a little older than college age, because if they're in college, they're usually too busy to come to our stuff. Not always, but it's like about college age, a little older, before they kind of buy a house and settle down. Then we do get some people who are middle-aged who are like picking up new hobbies, or suddenly have more time. We do get some kids and parents, like I said, who want more like science and technology learning, and the kids like seek us out, or sometimes the parents seek us out. We have demand from schools and homeschool parents. But yeah, it's a huge range. And I'm trying to develop classes that can target each of those, but there's a lot. And then there's a wide range of technical skills and abilities. So, like, finding kits that are appropriate for people, or like class levels, is hard.
Yeah.
So like no matter what, in each class there's going to be a range of people. There's going to be some people that are zipping ahead, some people that are really slow and like not getting it. And it would be great to be able to kind of separate that out a little bit, or be able to target the people that need a little more time and give them a particular activity, give the other people a little more. That's all about structuring the class, but that's something else I would like to do. Having good activities for parents to do with their kids. We've hit on soft circuits with electronics and textiles as a way to target women, but there's a lot of other ways we could do that. And it'd be great to target like guys who don't think of themselves as tech people or artists, because a lot of artists are like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I actually really love Max MSP, because it's kind of an easy in for people who are artists to just like start making stuff.
You have $600.
It's $350.
Oh really?
I just bought it.
Oh, okay.
I finally bought it.
Okay.
I don't use the image anymore. I just bought it. And it's the only program you can't,
You can't what?
obtain.
Oh really? I think I need to go soon. Oh yeah, I need to go.
Oh, it's late. Okay, well, I think you've given me a lot. I'd like to next time maybe we meet to be at the Hackberry, which would be great. Because I'm probably going to follow up with a lot of people and maybe doing a second interview or my interview earlier with Catherine was like 5 minutes, so this is like the longest interview I've done. Well, you're like a treasure trove, so it's kind of hard to not. But yeah, thank you.
Sure. I'll email you with some of these links and stuff. But